Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas. Today's surfboard review, the Zog by Xanadu Surfboards. This is gonna be fun. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show. Now I think the appropriate place to start is who is Xanadu? I'm doing board testing here at Waco Surf, or I'm at some of the point breaks in Southern California, and people ask me all the time, what are you reviewing? What board is that? How does it feel? How's it going under your feet? And there's this instant engagement. Well, today, bringing this particular board here to the pool, I always say hi to folks that are familiar with the show, the employees. I pull the board out, they're like, ooh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, this is a Xanadu, it's called the Zog. We start talking back and forth, and I said, have you ever heard of Xanadu before? And they're like, no. These guys work here, they follow the tour, they're very savvy on surfboards, they love to surf, they watch all the competitive stuff, and they've never heard of Xanadu before. That happened to me in Southern California when I reviewed one of his boards a few years back with my buddy Max. And I was like, really? People don't know who Xanadu is? So let's rewind for a second, because it's super important. Back in '91, Brad Gerlach got second in the world riding Xanadus. Lisa Anderson, multiple world titles riding Xanadus. I was talking to some world-class shapers just recently. I don't want to drop names, but we were talking about the 90s and the boards and the bottom contours and the rockers, and a lot of the biggest shapers in the world were really keen to what Xanadu was working on with Brad and Lisa. He was ahead of his time. All that to say, Xanadu, if you're in the surf industry, really needs no introduction, but to our community, he is the most underrated shaper in the world. He's world-class in my book. I have a bit of a history with them. Back when I was surfing on the QS, I rode for CI, got some great boards from them, but I finished surfing the QS riding Xanadus, and I got my best results riding his boards. Now I'm super stoked that Xanadu actually reached out. He was thinking of our community. He's thinking summertime, or even a board that you can rip on that doesn't have too much rocker, right? It's got that get up and go speed. He was telling me it has, you know, a little bit wider nose than your typical high performance shortboard, a little bit wider tail, so it's carrying great speed. One of the things that I notice about this board is it does have a fuller rail. Now for me, I like a fuller rail sometimes, especially when the waves are small. What I like about it is as soon as I engage the rail and I'm trying to push off it, and I engage that rail, I feel like I can push as hard as I want. Water adheres to curve. So when I get this rail in the water and it's a bottom turn and I'm pushing, the board's just squirting, and I feel like the harder it's gripping, the more I can push. It felt good in some layback carves, some top turns, just pushing and getting some extension through my turns. Now, there is a bit of foam under the front foot, right? So it's still holding some good foam up in here. So yeah, I feel like it's a good paddler, but better yet, I would say for you heavily front-footed surfers, you want more foam under the front foot. Remember, you're driving it from the front of the board. Now, my experience for heavily front-footed surfers, I like a swallowtail for you guys because there's more traction. Each point when it's engaged is going to give you that little extra bite or that hold. So to have a board that goes good for both surfers is key, especially in smaller waves. Now I am running it with my Pivot Twin Plus stabilizer, which gives me the drive because they're bigger side fins, and then I've got something to pivot off of and actually help get vertical, and it keeps the tail nice, loose, and playful. Now one of the things I noticed, taking just a straight edge to the bottom here, it's a pretty aggressive single concave all the way through. So when I put that straight edge and you can see my finger, like I would say this is quite a bit of single concave, more aggressive if you will. And sometimes boards that have a lot of single concave can be a bit tracky. I've ridden boards like that. And what I mean is you get going down the line and you're building all the speed and you want to do a turn and it wants to stay on that down the line track if that's where you're going. Kind of sticky and hard to break that. Not the case with this board. I know a lot of guys like to ride aggressive single concave, especially in smaller waves. This board's got that get up and go. It feels like it's on top of the water. and it's like really planing fast, and then I can sink the tail real quick and do the turns I want to do and put the board where I want in the lip.
That's a wrap on the Xanadu Zog. Super fun, summer groveler. I liked it best in really small, clean waves, like waist high and under, cleaner waves. This board was great. It was fast, it went top to bottom really well, and it carried speed through turns. I liked it in waist to stomach high plus conditions too, but where I really liked it was in waist high and under. So if you're looking for a summer groveler, you want to have some fun when the waves are really bad, this is a good option. So the fins I started out with in this board were the IPA twin fins with the T1 trailer, and those fins were fun. But after that, I put a set of Knoll's 2+1 pivot carbons in, and these things are next level. So they've got a wider surface area than the IPAs, but they're still upright. Also, the trailer's upright, unlike the T1, which is a little more raked. So these fins really helped with drive, getting me a lot of speed and getting me right up into the lip with their pivot twins and the pivot trailer. The other thing about these fins is they're super light. So I held all three of these fins together with one of the IPA fins in my other hand, and the one IPA fin seemed heavier than all three of these put together. They're super light, super performance heavy, very specific, well-designed 2+1 set. It's the first board I've ever ridden them in, and I couldn't get off of them. They're awesome.
Hey, so always stoked to have you on the show.
Yeah, buddy.
You've been running the Xanadu Zog. How's it feeling on your feet?
It's feeling pretty fun. I rode these back in the 90s. My buddy Zach and I were riding them back in Kona, and they were always really light and real fast, kind of a fun shape.
So you're familiar with Xanadu?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Now, how's this one going in the pool?
Good. Really good. It's a super fun board.
What do you like about it? What do you feel under your feet?
I feel like it's got great drive. And I feel like it loves to pivot and it wants to connect really well. Mm-hmm. And the construction's so light and flicky out here, you just want the thing to move when you want it to move.
Right. Yeah, this thing came in with no traction pad, no leaf string, 4.5 pounds. So one thing I know about Xanadu, it's not only the way he shapes, he's always thinking about performance. He's a performance guy, always has been. You talk about your boards being light in Hawaii, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want a little bit of weight to a board, especially in Hawaii with the trade winds. There's a lot of water moving around. So there's an appropriate time to have a little bit of weight to a board. But here in the pool, I think you and I both agree, light, quick, put it where you want real fast. I agree. This board, I don't know if it's drive, but it's the way the rail grips. When you set it, you can push as hard as you want. And I was feeling like on my top turns, I was working on extension, like really extending my legs through some of my turns, and I could push as hard as I wanted. Now, you were running the carbon pivot twin plus trailer like me. Mm-hmm. How'd that feel?
Amazing. Amazing. It felt really good.
If you guys are thinking about getting your hands on a Zog, reach out to Xanadu, tell him where you surf, what kind of waves you're surfing. If you surf a lot of choppy conditions, I'm sure he'll help you get it dialed. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's surfboard review on the Zog. Asa, always stoked to have you on the show.
Sir.
And a special shout out thanks to Xanadu for sending in the Zog for review. And hey, to our surf community, Xanadu is legit. Had to give you a little bit of a history lesson. This guy makes high performance boards. I think you guys will be stoked on them. Give him a shout, check it out. Until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.